Hi everybody, Adam here. Welcome back to our Lego room. Really excited today. We're going to walk you guys through our progress so far with getting the Mills modules set up for the 2 new T-junctions and the 6 new corner modules that will be going into our lower level layout. As you've probably seen from our recent videos, we've been building a lot of Mills modules, but after the Mills modules are together, the next step is to start laying out all of the tile, plate, etc. on top of those that forms the underlay for the track modules that will go on top. And in the case here, you can see we're working on our T-junctions at this end of the layout. And we've got the tabletop T-junction taken apart for the time being so that we can use the underlying tile and plate work that we did for that as a template for the new T-junctions that we're setting up. And just to remind you guys of where those are, you can see them under here. So we've got one on that side and we've got one on that side over there. Really excited to get those mounted onto Mills modules. And, it's kind of funny, if you want to use up parts in a hurry, build Mills modules. But if you've already done that, then the next best way to use up parts in a hurry is to do all of the tile and plate work on Mills modules for T-junctions, etc. This is really soaking up a lot of parts, but I think it's going to be worth it when we are done. You can see here that we have actually making pretty good progress. So you can see here's one corner section of the T-junction. So this is the right-hand chunk. I split this up into chunks like this so it's easier to transport around. And I find it easier for a big module like this to not break everything down into individual Mills module base plate chunks. Having it in this case as a 2x2 chunk just works easier. So we've got one 2x2 there for the right hand side of one T-junction. And we've got another 2x2 here for the second T-junction. And that is the original 2x2 for the tabletop T-junction. So you can see just the large quantity of 1x2 tiles, 2x2 tiles, 2x2 plate, just so many different parts. I am, in an effort to try to stretch my parts as far as possible and make sure that I can get everything, at least to a first pass with what the parts I have currently in the Lego room here. You'll see I'm using a lot of black and light gray mixed in with the dark blue gray. And that's just for, getting the first pass done here. Once we've got that done, and I'm sure that I've got enough of everything for this first pass, I will go back through and convert, tile that you can see through or around the track to the dark blue gray so that everything is nice and consistent. So you can see that's the right-hand side of the T-junction. We've got all three there. And in the middle section here, it's a 1x3 for the straight track that goes at the top there. We've got the 2 new ones for the lower level on top of the original one there. So everything is set up on that side. And then I've made a 1x3 for the sort of middle chunk here as well. So you can see we've got the new ones all set up here. I didn't, in the original one, These guys on the top here are from the original tabletop T-Junction. I didn't have those 3 mills modules together. I had them separate. For the new ones down below, I decided to combine those together. I thought it might just be easier. And when I'm transporting them, they're going to be the same size as the chunk behind it with the straight track. So they should package together relatively easily. Fingers crossed. We'll see how that works. So when it comes to the T-junctions over here, the last 2 chunks that I need to work on are the base part of it here, where the tabletop one connects into our train yard and goes down there into the rail yard. This chunk here is a 2x3, and we've got the two 2x3 chunks right there. So we'll be working on this one next, and then it's the left-hand side over there, the 2x2 chunk that's left. Once those are done, we are good for the T-junctions, and we will move all of the modules down onto the lower level here to get the T-junctions mounted onto them. Really excited. That's going to be a really cool milestone, sort of checkpoint for the lower level layout. And then, in addition to working on this T-junction and copying the mills module underlay for that, we've also been working on our corner modules. So let's go take a look at those. I almost forgot to mention, so these are the 2x2 chunks that have been constructed out of mills modules for the left-hand side of the T-junction over there. So in both cases, I've got the mills, the combination of mills modules set up for both the left-hand side and this bottom area over here. It's just a matter of now transferring the pattern of tile and plate onto these constructed chunks here. So getting close on that front. Shouldn't be too much longer, but it is definitely, a parts sink and a real backbreaker as well. It's a lot of time spent leaning over the mills modules as you're trying to recreate the pattern very carefully. But yeah, just wanted to show you that those were there. Now let's go take a look at the corner modules that we've been putting together as well. So here you can see we've got our corner module that we are copying for the 6 new corner modules that we are building. Each corner module is supporting an R104 and an R120 curve on it. Obviously the 104 is the interior curve and the R120 is the exterior curve. Now, for the corner modules like this, they are made up of 12 different individual mills module pieces. So you've got 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, and then the final 2 on the end there. You can see we're making pretty good progress through the corner modules here. We have 2, 4, 6, 8. We've got 8 of the 12 done so far. The one over there and the one there are currently in my build office on the table as I've been working through recreating those. Once those are done, then these last 2 will be going in to be recreated. So getting pretty close. The nice thing about the corner modules is there's a lot of, I'd say there's some parts that are definitely more kind of white space that you don't have to recreate a specific pattern on. So that makes it a little bit easier. And if you look at each one of these stacks here, a stack basically just represents 6 different copies of that particular mills chunk. And then once we get to the very bottom, after we see the 6, there's 2 greens, 4 whites in each stack, and then we get back to the original tan. The tan will be staying up here on the top part of the layout. The white corner modules will all be going over to the Winter Village portion of the lower layout. So there'll be the 4 corners for that, representing that sort of circular chunk of track over there, which will be exciting. That'll be just over on that side of the room over there on the lower level layout. And then the green is for the 2 corner modules at this end of the lower layout. So one will be under here and one will be over there. Now that means that between the 6 corner modules and the 2 T-junctions, we will be getting pretty close to having a full set of track on mills for the lower layout. The gotchas after that, we've got some straight track that we need to get swapped out and onto mills. We've already been working on some of that over there. I've got a number of the 2 straight track mills modules already made and ready to swap in. The other big thing that we need to convert underneath is the 2 monster crossovers that we have. So if we go down here, try not to knock anything over, but you can see down there we've got the 2 monster crossovers. Not sure that I will convert them initially. I think I'll probably just get them sitting on top of mills modules, and so we can get everything kind of roughly working. I have a feeling I'm going to need to order some additional parts for the tile and plate work that will go on underneath those. I also need to pick up some more 16 by 32 base plates. Typically most of our, well, pretty much everywhere we use 32 by 32 base plates for our mills modules, but the way the geometry works for the monster crossover, I'm pretty sure we need at least a couple of the 16 by 32s. They'll also be useful in a few other spots, so useful to pick those up. But yeah, we're making pretty good progress on getting these mills modules sorted out. I think it will be awesome to get these in place underneath the tabletop layout here on this new lower level. And once we've got everything working with that, then we can start to do some of the additional modules under here. We've got the interior curved track modules that we're going to need to make for the smaller radius curves, and definitely some other things to work out, some additional bridges, some other types of modules that we want to start placing down here. So lots of cool stuff ahead on that front. But, overall, we are making a dent in the stacks of mills modules that we put together. Making decent progress there. We've got a few more off to the side that I cleared out just so that it was easier to move up and down this side of the layout here and get what I needed for the ones that I'm working on right now. But big crunch. I want to finish these modules hopefully in the next day or so that I've got other modules I want to work on for the upcoming train show. I also want to get everything cleared off the tabletop layout here so we can get back to running trains and work on some of the other projects we have around the layout. So in the next day or two tops, you should be seeing some videos pop up on the channel with trains running again around the layout, with some of the other modules that we are putting together for both the train show and just for general use around the layout here in the Lego room. So, making progress, but still lots of work ahead. And like I said, there is nothing like mills to use up a lot of pieces, and nothing like turning mills into track modules to use up even more pieces. But Really happy with the progress here, and I think these modules are going to look awesome. Can't wait until we get them in place and on the lower layout there and can start running the trains under there on the new Mills track work. So fun times ahead. Definitely lots of cool videos ahead. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please make sure to do so that you don't miss out on any of our upcoming videos. And thank you very much for watching. We will see you again soon. Take care. Bye.